Hello friends, my name is Thiagu and welcome to my video on data visualization using Matplotlib. Okay, so in field of data science, now once the data analysis part is completed, the next key part is data visualization. Okay, so what is data visualization? So in simple words, I can say, if you want to show your data in form of a graphs or different kind of plots, so that's what in a form of visualization. Then that's where this concept comes into picture. Okay, so what's the need for data visualization is the next question, right? So the, the main purpose of data visualization is, you can understand the trend of data only when you, visualize something. You can tell that even I can find that in data analysis part, right? But in data analysis, when you look into data, it is not easy to understand the trend of the data. Only when you visualize it, you can understand the trend of the data, which you will not be able to discover during your data analysis part. That's the main reason why you want to go into data visualization. Okay, so there are a lot of libraries available in Python for this concept of data visualization. So in today's video, like I'm gonna cover only about Matplotlib. So there is another famous data visualization library called Seaborn, which is quite a famous one. And you can even go to some external tools like Tableau, which is used for data visualization. Okay, so in today's video, let's focus on Matplotlib alone. So I will show like what are the different kind of charts. How can we visualize the data in form of bar charts, multiple bar charts, histogram, pie chart, line plots, scatter plots, and box plots. Okay, so these type of charts, let's see in our programming tutorial. Okay, so in order to make this concept of data visualization easier for everyone to understand, I have taken this Corona dashboard example, so that everyone will easily understand, what's the trend of data. Okay, so let's quickly jump onto our programming part. Here it is. Okay, so here in my first example, I will show how the bar chart works. Okay, so selecting what type of uh, chart you want to visualize is a separate skill. Okay, I will cover it as a separate video. In this video, let's focus on how to display all these type of charts. Okay, so bar charts, like you can use bar charts when you want to understand the frequency of a data. Okay, so now instead of explaining the definition, I will just run and show you, then you will have a clear view of when to choose bar chart. Okay, yeah, if you now see, I have the as I said, like I'm using the corona patient dashboard to visualize my data. Okay, so these are for some of the data which I took from the WHO site, maybe a week back. So um, uh, this data may not be accurate at the time of my video making. So like I have showed the the number of affected people for various countries like US, India, Italy, and so. So I am trying to if you see, I'm using a plot.bar method, which shows the which displays the data in form of a bar chart. Okay, so I additionally have set the title for my graph. I have set the x-axis name and I have set the y-axis name. Okay, so if you see, uh, you can by using bar chart, you can easily understand the frequency or the number of people affected by corona in various other countries. Okay, so in US it's like close to like more than 14 lakh people, and India it's like it's close to 85,000. So this data is showed in a form of graph over here. So with this example, like you can easily understand that the number of affected patients in US is quite high. So this is one of the simplest form of bar chart. Okay, So there is something called multiple bar chart. Okay, so in this first example, like we saw how to use single, how to use how to show the data for a single for a single bar, right? So here we have showed the details for single country like US. I've used one bar. For India I've used another bar. For Italy I've used. So when do I use multiple bar charts? Okay, so I have few data on my corona.csv file. I can jump onto that. So if you see in this data, like I want to understand the trend of the affected people per day and the deaths per day. Okay, so I have various details starting from 6th of May to 16th of May. So let me quickly run this too. Yeah, if you see this now, I can easily visualize the number of people affected in India right from 6th of May until 16th of May. So this is when you have to make comparison between two different data, right? So that's when you can use multiple bar charts. So this is all about how to use multiple bar charts. Okay, so next example is about histogram. So a lot of people confuse about bar charts and histogram. Okay, excuse me. So histogram. Let me quickly run this and show you and explain you how histogram works. So yep. So this is how an histogram looks like. So in this example, I have an age of all the male patients who have been affected by corona. Okay, here I have the female age of females who have been affected by corona, and I there is some when I use the concept of bar charts right here. Oops, when I use the bar chart, right, um, in the multiple bar chart, like I showed the trend for affected people per day and deaths per day. But if I use the if you use the plot dot history method, this won't work. I can show you that. I can change something like now. If you see my data, my graph doesn't look tidy. It doesn't give me any meaning. Okay, so that's when you have to be very smart in choosing what type of graph you want to display. Okay, so when do you want to use histogram is when you want to understand like the various range of um, um, data. Like in this example, like I have used the age of different peoples, like starting from 0 to 100 age. I want to know the uh, trend of people. I want to know the ages of number of people affected by age category. Okay, so there is a concept called bins in histogram. Like you can mention the data in a form of bins. Like this will be your starting data and going and all the other subsequent data you can highlight here. So you can see in my x-axis I have 0, 20, 40, 60, 80. So this is my bins. Okay, so uh, let's take this simple example to understand how this graph is displayed. Okay, if you see my original data, like what this graph, the first bar is showing is like it's showing me the data for all people in the range of 0 to 20. Okay, so like for 0 to 10, the number of males affected is somewhere close to 2 people. Again, for age 10 to 20, the number of people affected, female affected is close to 2. So again here, like the number of male affected within the range of like 21 to 30 years, close to 4. So when I want to identify people based on ages, right, so that's when you can use this histogram. So this is all about histogram. And the next chart which we are gonna see is pie chart. Okay, let's quickly run this. Yeah, I am now extracting the data from my corona region wise data CSV. So if you see this CSV, I have the list of continents, not continents exactly, it's the WHO regions, like Americas, Europe. So it shows the corona affected people. So for this, so this is just single data, right? So it's more than enough if you use the pie chart. Okay, so the use of pie chart is you can easily understand the coverage of the data, right? If you see in this example, like if you see more number of people are affected in America region, and more number of people are affected in Europe, whereas with respect to other regions it's quite less. So when you want to show in the form of pie chart, um, you can use this plot.py method. Okay, so similarly, like I I want to show something called line plots. Okay, so line plot, this is a usual type of graph which we would have done in our geometry sessions, um, but it's this is one of the most underestimated graph, I would say, because with this type of graph you can easily understand the trend of the data. Okay, so I have used corona.csv, like I have shown the number of people affected in India for and the deaths per day for various dates, like starting from 6th May to 16th May, right? So if you see, I would just want to display the trend of how much people are affected per day. So if you see this example, starting from 6th of May to 16th of May, the first day started somewhere like close to 3,600 people, and it gradually decreased. But on 9th May, I guess, on 9th May, the trend of the data, the number of affected patients, number of corona affected patients increased to close to 4,300. Okay, so uh, as a people, as a person from a health, say I am from an health department, I want to analyze why suddenly my graph got inclined to 4,300. So this graph will be very useful for some people in health department to understand the trend of the corona patients affected per day. So this is one type of plot. Another type of plot is scatter plot. Okay, scatter plot. This is this is one of the rarely used plots, but most of the people, for most of the people, it might be even new. But this is one of the plot where you can easily understand the trend, or you can easily group the data. Okay, so I will run this data. If you see, this is how a scatter plot looks like. Okay, so it might be very confusing for beginners to understand how this scatter plot works. Okay, but I have given you an easy example so that you will easily understand how this scatter plot works. Okay, I am using the lockdown violated CSV. So I have oops, what else I have? Yeah, I have a lockdown violated data. Like in my in my A column, I have lockdown violated people. So this number of people are have violated the lockdown, on day-to-day basis. Again, I have the respective people affected per day. Okay, so in this situation, like I can go to scatter plot. If you see, the lesser the people violated the lockdown, the lesser the people affected. So if you see, there is a lot of groupings over here. Okay, whereas here again, where do we have the next most grouping is here. Okay, so what you can understand from this data is, lesser the people violated the lockdown, the lesser the people affected per day. The more the people violate the lockdown, the more the people affect per day. So I would suggest you to stay home. Okay, so this is how you can use the scatter plots to understand the grouping of data. Okay, so this is how you can use scatter plots. And the next part is, um, the final graph is box plots. Okay, so box plot is something, again, it might, this is another new type of this might be a new type of graph for most of the people. Okay, so so how does box plot works? Okay, um, so again, I have a data of I have data of the number of people affected in three countries like US, Russia, and UK. So these are the number of people affected on a day-to-day basis. So how can I visualize this using a box plot? So box plots. I will take an example of Russia. Okay, so if you see, there is a orange line in between, which is called median, which is basically the middlemost, or this, or the median number of the uh, data available in Russia. Okay, so that is somewhere close to 27,000. So this is the median, and so this is my lower quartile, which is this is my lower quartile, and this one is my upper quartile, and this is my topmost data. So and this is my lowermost data. So if you easily if I took the if you see the data for Russia, what's the maximum value? It's like close to 42,000. The lesser value is like close to 13,000. Okay, so if you go here, like my lesser value is closer to um, yeah, so my maximum value is close to 45,000, and my lesser value is close to 13,000. So this is something called outliers. The the smallest circle which you are seeing here is called outliers. Outliers is another concept in box plot, where you can see the uh, you know the outermost value, outermost lowest value, or the uppermost outlier value. So this is something which is specific to box plot. Okay, so this is how a box plot is used. Again, I can use something called box plot method over here to display my data. So this is all about data visualization using Matplotlib. Just I want to reiterate all the concept which I recently covered. Like on my first example, I have showed how to display a bar chart, and in my second, I showed you how to display multiple bar chart. On my third example, I showed you how to display an histogram, and on my next uh, example, I showed you how to display a pie chart, and this is for line plot, and this is something called scatter plot, and this is my box plot. Okay, so this is all about data visualization. The most important concept why you want to go to data visualization is, you can easily understand the trend of the data by easily looking into the graphs or the visualization, which you will not be able to discover when you analyze or look into data. So that's the most important reason why you want to go into the concept of data visualization. Okay, so that's all about today's video. If you have liked my video, please subscribe to my channel, and if you have any queries, please post it in the comment section. I will try to answer it as soon as possible. Thank you, friends. Bye bye.